Hey, it's Rick with Rock Bottom Outreach, and it is Real Talk Thursday. I honestly had to stop and pray before I did this video to make sure God helps me articulate it and well to honor Him and that it is received in that manner. And the reason I'm doing this is, the big news about the police officer in Euless that was gunned down, and they said the young man was on meth. I don't know the history. I don't know anything about this kid, but I did hear on the radio someone said, "Man, what a cute guy. Whoever would have thought?" Well, that's a great question. Whoever would have thought? Whoever would have thought Rick would turn into a drug addict? Not me. Whoever would have thought the guy on the first row at church would turn into a drug addict? Not me. Whoever thinks somebody would do something like that? Not me. Here's the deal, man. You got to understand that Satan does not discriminate, and drugs do not discriminate. So many testimonies, so many people that reach out to Rock Bottom Outreach and that we try to help behind the scenes. Honestly, who grew up saying, "Man, I want to grow up, I want to be a drug addict. I want to go to prison. That's my lifelong goal." None of us. But does it make you a bad person? No, it doesn't make you a bad person. Now, you can let it identify if you want. But I want to share, because you probably sit there today thinking, "Man, I am all alone, man. I've really screwed up and nobody knows." And so I'm going to kind of recap my story just a little bit. But due to a 10-year history of taking pain pills, it turned into an addiction. And I said, "Man, I'm not a drug addict. I mean, drug addicts have long hair and tattoos. Not me." I mean, that's what I believed. But this guy that wasn't a drug addict, one day with my oldest son in the truck, I fell asleep at the wheel, and I drove my truck into a bar ditch, and he believed it was his fault because he did not put us back on the road. This guy that's not a drug addict one time drove his truck straight into a horse trailer. Not this guy. This guy one time fell asleep in a bowl of corn at Cracker Barrel. This guy. But no, not this guy. This guy one time was going to walk into town wearing nothing but boots and a cowboy hat. Oh no, not this guy. This guy one time drove his truck into an 18-wheeler, sideswiped it, and could have killed all of his kids. Not this guy. Yeah, this guy. Before you think you're alone in whatever you're struggling with, I promise you're not. And you got to understand, something like meth, one puff one time, and 95% people are hooked. That's the biggest phone call we get from people to say, "Man, my daughter, my son, man, he's hooked on meth and I don't know what to do." I mean, did you grow up to say, "Man, I want to be an alcoholic? I want to be a drug?" No, you didn't. The Bible says that Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He ain't playing. I have the hardest time forgiving myself for what I did, and I take full responsibility for it. I really do. But I believe the lie also. Not me. I'm not a drug addict, not me. But I was reminded as I sat in rehab, surrounded by students I used to teach, I used to coach, and then ended up in basically a halfway house, surrounded by people I never would have talked to ever before. Ever. We walk around in bondage because we think we're the only person struggling with drugs. We think we're the only parent that have kids struggling with drugs. We're the only parent struggling with a husband that's alcoholic, or a husband that your wife's an alcoholic, man, you believe that mess, that you're the only one. No, man, you're not the only one. Man, the Bible says we all sin and fall short of the glory of God. And it's all level at the foot of the cross. Man, we can't be casting stones comparing sin to sin. It is what it is. If that makes you feel better, then you go right ahead. Well, here's why I'm doing this today. I need you to understand you're not alone. There are people that care. There are people that are willing to stand in the gap with you and help you find resources to beat whatever it is you're struggling with. Whatever it is. This guy, not this guy. No, I'll never be a drug addict.